Welcome to another episode of Is This for Kids? I'm Jonathan Bearded Blevins, father of 3, 1 on the way. And I think that most media, except for some of the episodes we're doing recently, are absolute garbage marketed towards children.
You said that like completely out. It was like Yoda. Anyway, I'm Katie.
Absolute garbage. That was not a good Yoda impression.
No. I'm Katie, MrsRuvi. I'm a mother of 5, and I think you can redeem most
Mother
of the...
of 5 you are.
Mother of 5. Wait, hang on. I can actually do that really well.
Wow.
The point of this podcast is to let parents know what's in a piece of content so they know what they might want to shield their kid from. If there's any conversations that'll come up, they can shepherd them through, and how they can use media to share in their kids' life. And today we were talking about not that robot, but...
Shia LaBeouf.
Actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf?
No, but he's Catholic now. Go Shia LaBeouf.
Go team, I guess.
No, we're talking about Transformers 1.
The Uno.
The prequel.
The prequel to all of the Transformers movies.
The new cartoon.
Yeah.
And it is so fun. So good. And any opinion otherwise is incorrect. Bad Assatrod. This movie was made for fellas in every sense of the way.
This is a man's
Bad
movie
Assatrod.
for sure. This is 100% a dude movie. All right, so this is the story of...
A Bug's Life.
It's basically A Bug's Life. I texted that to him during the movie. I was like, the
so
same
true.
plot as A Bug's Life. Okay, Orion Pax is our main character. You will later know him as...
Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime.
As soon as I said that, the lights dimmed.
That's funny. Anyway, so he's a mining...
Roll out. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. Orion Pax is a mining robot with a good friend named D16, and they mine a substance that I really can't remember the name of, but they're like fuel cells that come from the center of
energy.
their planet.
It's energy.
Yeah. And they're doing this with like the hope that one day they're going to become greater. And Orion Pax has this love of his people's history and wants to find the, let me find out what it was called, the Matrix of Leadership, which used to make this energy flow abundantly on the planet. But after the Primes were defeated in a war with the Quintessons, this substance is no longer available. They have to mine it. And so now the only remaining Prime is Sentinel Prime, who is helping them to farm or mine all of this energy, and they quickly find out that Sentinel is not what he seems and has in fact been giving the fuel cells over to the Quintessons in return for his own power. So basically it's A Bug's Life if the Queen had been in league with the Grasshoppers.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is true. I also did, sometimes I do this where someone has a really cool, unique take, which is often you actually. You're like, I do this with you like 9 times out of 10 when I'm doing this. It's you. You say something and I'm like, the whole world must think this. And so I type in Transformers 1, Bug's Life on Twitter.
Yeah.
One other person. That's it.
Really?
You and one other person.
Man,
and that one
who
other
is
person
that guy?
was just like, wow, this movie's really good, but it's also just a Bug's Life.
It's just A Bug's Life.
It's so true. Well done. You were very smart.
Thank you.
Real quick, this movie is unbelievable. I went like right before the Tigers' first playoff game. By the way, they won. Spoiler alert. It's awesome. Hopefully they win the next one by the time you're listening to this. Hopefully the Tigers are still in the playoffs. I was so tired. I stayed up late Monday night to watch the Lions win on Monday Night Football. And I had to watch it in order to make time to be ready for this podcast. And so I show up at 11 a.m. It's me, my kids again, invited, didn't want to come to the movie. And then a dad and his kid who left halfway through. No idea why. Maybe the kid was scared or something. He was kind of little. But I ended up being the only one in this theater. And I was ready for a nap. All the way reclined. Popcorn finished by the time the trailer was over. Ready to take a nap. Trying actively to fall asleep. I couldn't. It was too good. The movie was too good. Too loud.
Yeah, I was saying, is it because it was too
No,
loud?
it was so exciting. The movie was so good. And so I loved it. Couldn't stop watching even though I wanted to fall asleep.
Do you like Michael Bay movies in general?
Sometimes. This was better than every Transformers movie combined.
Yeah.
And I know you think that's a low bar,
Yeah.
but it was. It's better than every Michael Bay movie combined.
Also.
Low bar?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Okay, I'm not a Michael Bay fan. I find the whole thing very annoying. It's very like explosions and chasing and explosions and racing and explosions and shooting and explosion. Like that's pretty much the entire movie. That's very light on plot. And they didn't even have...
I disagree.
Like in A Bug's Life, you get the comic relief of the circus performers. And I guess these are like a ragtag bunch of mining bots that get together to do this. And thankfully, Bumblebee was our Heimlich here to be the funny guy.
He was hilarious.
It was very funny. That was literally the best part of it. Is that Michael Keenan? What is that guy's
Key and
name?
Peele?
Yeah. I can't remember his first name.
Yeah.
Though. It's just Key.
Yeah.
It's Key. Sorry. But he's like living in the subterranean parts of and he's hilarious and fun. And thankfully he can talk in this version, which is great.
Yeah. It was hilarious, amazing. My one complaint, and this is not a movie review podcast, it's a podcast about whether or not it's for kids. We're getting there right now. My one complaint is that Megatron just went from like amazing, one of the best friends you could ever have in your life, to like the worst villain ever. And
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. Like there was zero hint at all that was even going to be him, except for the sticker that Optimus Prime gave him.
Yeah.
Which is what his logo ends up being.
Yeah. Weird.
But it's awesome. What do you think there's in there at all that we need to shield
so
our
there
kids
is
from?
one recurring swear.
Badassatron.
Yes. Bumblebee would like to be known as Badassatron, which there's a possibility your kids will hear that as Badacid-tron and whatever. I don't know. It depends, but that's the only swear, and it's not that bad in my opinion.
But I'm conflicted.
Are you?
I'm conflicted because it's the objectively one of the best parts of the whole movie. It is so funny.
So funny.
The way that he straightens himself up and says it every single time, like, is hilarious. It's objectively funny.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also the only swear in the entire movie. And like 1000%, if you take your 5, 6, 8, 9, 10-year-old, will be the one thing they repeat over and over and over. And like, it's not a huge deal, but that's not something I want my kid running around the house saying. Like, I don't want my kid running around the house saying what the Sigma or skibbity doo rizma and a rizzy and all. I hate it.
I have such bad news
hate
for
it.
you.
Skibbity rizzle, hi-yo. Like, just stop with repeating things because you think they're cool. I hate it. And so I know that's going to be one thing that they do. So I don't know.
I think you just start saying them yourself and then they're less funny to your kids.
No, my kids think I'm cool still. I know. It's
My kids
very
think I'm
weird.
cool, and the fact that I say it makes that not that interesting. Be like, why is a dog making a skibbity face at me?
I'm at this weird point in my life where like I have to, like, my kids are so sweet and adorable. They're also like really good at football, and on the football, I'm their coach, and they're calling me daddy still, like in front of their friends.
My kids call me mommy still. They're
In front of their friends?
16.
That's okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Because it's adorable and I love it.
It's actually like a thing kids do nowadays.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like,
Sweet.
It's in.
But like they think I'm cool still. So if I start doing it, they're going to do it more.
Yeah. Well, okay. So there's the one swear that you're going to want to shield. There's like
That they're going to repeat forever.
They're going to repeat forever, maybe. Robot violence. So there's that.
Nah,
like,
who cares?
there's 2 parts where I specifically was like, ooh. Where they carved the thing into his chest is a little graphic.
Yeah.
The Sentinel Prime carves into Megatron's chest his little symbol, and it's kind of scary. Like, it's very almost
It's traumatizing for sure.
a little bit. And then they rip one of the robots in half in a way that's very like, ooh, that looked almost human. Like it almost feels like there's entrails pulling apart. Like you watch it.
It's awesome.
It was a little much. But again, I don't think it's going to like scar your kid. It's a robot.
Nope, it's a robot.
There's no drinking, no sex, no drugs, none of those things. So those are your shield items to think about.
They do a really good job, I think, with Optimus Prime and Megatron's friendship throughout, and just what it looks like, what it means to have your friends back. There's a scene where the mine that they're mining is collapsing, and Megatron would die, and Optimus Prime avoids his leader, who says follow protocol and just get out of this mine, and he saves his friend. I mean, there's so many moments of friendship throughout this film, I think, as we're talking about.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the betrayal of Megatron to Optimus Prime towards the end, and like I think there's just a lot of feelings kids are going to have about that, and so it's just good to have conversations with about it.
Yeah. At the end of the movie, they kind of like hit the theme of the movie on the head, and I'm less worried about kids saying Badassatron as I am about them saying absorbing the meaning of a movie and incorporating it into their life. So like the theme of the movie, or the last line of the movie, he says, freedom and autonomy are the right of all sentient beings, and that they were going to defend that right or whatever. So that's like the overarching, that freedom and autonomy are the right of all sentient beings. And I worry a little bit about that theme, because I feel like autonomy very quickly turns into individualism and makes this the anti-wild robot, like doing things for yourself for the way that you think is right, not the way that helps other people. But that's me reading a whole lot into this movie. Your kid will never think of that on their own.
They won't.
So, but if they start thinking to themselves that like autonomy is super important, okay, sure, it is. I'm not saying it's not, but like temper that if it starts to head into individualism at the expense of others.
Wouldn't you say, though, that Megatron and his crew that follow him at the end are the ones who are living that even more?
Yeah,
Because
which was why it was weird that it was Optimus Prime who said it.
Well, yeah, right. So it's weird that he said it, but the weird thing is Optimus Prime, what his whole thing was, the whole movie was the best for the greater good.
Yeah.
Not individualism. But that line is weird. You're
The
right.
line is weird. Like, I
100%.
literally sat there at the end and was like, wait, that was what? Like, it just felt like it's strange. But for that line, I would have no thoughts at all about this movie. I didn't enjoy it. It's a very boy movie.
It's so good.
I
The one thing I would say too is like when I will watch this with my kids as soon as it comes out, and I can make them sit through it at our house.
You are gonna watch
The Optimus Prime's character in the beginning, like he's not a great friend in the beginning. All right, he tricks his friend into doing things he doesn't want to do. He's a bad influence. He's basically kind of like, do this because you love me, and like that's a really dangerous friend to have when you're young, and then of course as you get older as well. So I think just having a combo about that, but then of course he turns into just this awesome hero.
So I took my little daughter to see this movie, and go back and watch the episode on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem.
Another fantastic film.
If you would like to watch me be epically wrong, I didn't enjoy that movie the first time we watched it. I was like, it's fine. You probably liked it. It was great. My daughter loves that movie, my 3-year-old. She thinks it's the best movie ever. And I stand by a lot of the things I said about, sympathetic victims or villains, I mean. But like, she loved it. And I thought it was very like boys only. So I expected her to kind of like this. She loves robots. She's into that kind of thing. She was not all that interested. She was like wandering around the entire way through the movie. It was very opposite of Wild Robot. She was bored having conversations. Where's the pink robot? Mom, where's the girl robot? She was all the time. She at one point asked me if I thought that the row behind us was completely full of snakes. It wasn't. Be aware of whether or not your kids are into this kind of movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. It's not a Disney movie.
It says Paramount Pictures, DreamWorks Pictures, and Hasbro all work together.
That's right. So not Disney.
Yeah. Not Disney.
Look at all these other companies destroying Disney lately in children's film. It's amazing.
Yeah.
The Ninja Turtles, Wild Robot, Transformers 1, 3 of how about Migration?
Yeah.
Despicable Me 4, which is just okay, but like
I don't know.
Crushing it. Without get Despicable Me out of there, those 3, Ninja Turtles, Wild Robot, and Transformers 1, are in my top 10 animated films of all time. Already.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. That's interesting. Why
They're just kicking butt.
Why is Prince of Egypt not in there? That's one of the best movies ever.
I love Prince of Egypt. We should
So
do an episode on Prince of Egypt.
We should.
One final thing about Transformers 1 that I think is really dope is that they find this really, really old Transformer who they end up bringing him back to life by giving him an energy source.
Yeah.
And he was one of like the original giant primes. And he's super old. He sounds really old. And the respect that is given to him with the young ones is awesome. And we need more of that in this world. A love and a respect for the elderly.
Big apology to Lawrence Fishburne.
Who sounds really old. He does.
He sounds wise. That's always, but he was what's the guy?
Even better.
Neo or whatever from The Matrix.
I love it.
What age do you think?
Besides the one Badassatron, like again, my kids will be the ones who say that over and over and over, but I'm going to tell them about it ahead of time and watch it with them. I'd say if you can sit through a movie, you can watch it.
I would say that you could, there's nothing in there that's upsetting for anybody of any age. I would say there's probably an interest level at about 7.
There you go.
There you go. If they wanted to find more of this, where would they find it?
IsThisForKids.com. We're very active on YouTube and Instagram. Make sure you subscribe, like, leave a comment. We respond back, especially on Instagram. You're very good at that. I've been getting better. I've been responding.
Yeah.
People ask me weird questions on there, and I answer it sometimes. And also everywhere you listen to podcasts, IsThisForKids.com.
There's just so much content out there for us to navigate as parents.
I'm Jonathan Beard of Blevins.
I'm Katie, MrsRuvi. Let us help you decide.
Is this for kids?